In the dim, cluttered workshop of an old scrapyard, Daniel worked tirelessly at his workbench. A mechanic by trade, he was no stranger to rusted machines and broken parts. His fingers, skilled from years of fixing broken engines and mending machinery, moved like a symphony of precision. The shop, buried deep in the outskirts of the city, was a haven for unwanted relics of the past, a place where machines came to die and were reborn under his touch. One foggy evening, as the neon lights flickered in the distance, Daniel received an unexpected visitor, a massive, unmarked ship battered and covered in what looked like alien technology. It hovered in silence, as if it had always been there. The ship's dark, wolf-like shape was unlike anything he had ever seen, its sleek surface gleaming in the dim light. Without hesitation, he was drawn to it, his curiosity outweighing any doubts. The ship had clearly been abandoned. Its hull was cracked and scuffed, with sections missing entirely. Something about it struck a chord in Daniel's heart, though he couldn't explain why. Perhaps it was the way it appeared, so forlorn and out of place. He felt an inexplicable urge to help, to bring it back to life. "Guess I'm going to have a long night," Daniel muttered to himself, already gathering his tools. As he climbed aboard the ship, he marveled at the strange materials and designs that filled the interior. Alien symbols were etched into every surface, glowing faintly in the dark. Despite its advanced appearance, the ship was a mess. Wires dangled loosely, control panels blinked erratically, and mechanical systems hummed in distress. But Daniel was determined. He knew machines, and he knew how to fix them. Even though the alien tech was unlike anything he'd ever worked on, his instincts guided him. He started with the basics: power systems, oxygen filters, and communication arrays. Hours passed, and Daniel was lost in his work, his hands moving with purpose as he analyzed each broken piece. Then, as he reached into the ship's engine core, his hand brushed against something warm. A pulse of energy shot through his arm, and suddenly, the ship seemed to come alive. A deep growl rumbled through the hull, not mechanical, but organic. The ship's interior shook, and the lights flickered wildly. Before Daniel could react, the back hatch of the ship opened, and a figure emerged from the shadows. It was unlike any creature he had ever seen. Tall, muscular, with fur that shimmered like liquid silver and eyes that gleamed with an otherworldly glow. The being stood on two legs, a humanoid wolf, its movements both graceful and terrifying. Daniel froze, his mind racing. Was this a dream? Some sort of hallucination? The creature stepped closer, its eyes locked onto him with an intensity that sent chills down his spine. It was silent, studying him with an intelligence that was almost familiar. "Who are you?" Daniel whispered, his voice shaky. The creature's lips curled into a snarl, but it wasn't threatening. It was as if the wolf, if that's what it was confused, unsure. Then, the growl subsided, and it lowered its head in what seemed like a gesture of gratitude. It approached Daniel cautiously, a wounded, exhausted expression in its eyes. Daniel stood motionless, unsure of how to proceed. But something deep inside him told him that this creature wasn't a threat. In fact, it was lost, stranded, and in desperate need of help, just like the ship it had come in. "I fixed your ship," Daniel said softly, realizing the gravity of the situation. He wasn't just fixing a machine. He had unknowingly repaired a lifeline. The alien wolf seemed to understand, its eyes softening. A flash of recognition passed between them. Somehow, Daniel knew this being wasn't from Earth. He didn't know what brought it here, but he could feel the bond between them grow stronger, even though they couldn't speak each other's language. Over the next few hours, Daniel tried to communicate with the creature. He offered food and water, attempting to bridge the gap between them. The wolf's behavior shifted from hostility to curiosity. It inspected the ship's repairs, nudging various parts as if sensing the restoration of its home. Daniel realized that the wolf had likely been injured during its travels, and the ship had been abandoned, drifting aimlessly through space until it had crashed near Earth. By morning, the creature's wounds had healed, its strength returning. The ship had fully powered up, its systems humming to life once again. Daniel stood beside it, feeling a strange sense of accomplishment. The wolf, now fully recovered, walked up to him and gently placed its head against his shoulder, a gesture of appreciation. "You're welcome," Daniel murmured, his voice barely audible. He had no idea what would happen next, but he knew he had just changed the course of something far beyond his comprehension. With a soft howl, the alien wolf turned toward the ship, its tail swishing as it prepared to leave. Daniel watched as it climbed aboard, its fur glinting in the morning light. The ship's engines roared to life, and with a surge of energy, it lifted off the ground, soaring into the sky. As it disappeared into the distance, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that he had just crossed into a new chapter of his life. He had saved more than just a ship. He had helped a lost soul find its way home. And somewhere in the vastness of space, the alien wolf would always remember the mechanic who fixed its ship. The mechanic who unknowingly saved it. Daniel, a humble mechanic, unknowingly becomes the savior of an alien being stranded on Earth. What began as a routine repair job on a mysterious, abandoned spacecraft evolved into something far greater. Through his mechanical expertise and an unexplainable connection to the damaged alien ship, Daniel not only fixed its broken systems, but also revived the spirit of the creature it housed, a majestic, humanoid wolf with shimmering silver fur and a powerful presence. Though he didn't understand the true significance of his actions, Daniel felt an unspoken bond with the alien wolf. In those quiet hours of work, amidst the cluttered scrapyard, he inadvertently helped the creature return home. The wolf, once lost and broken, now stood strong and grateful, departing for the stars with its ship restored. As the craft disappeared into the sky, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that his life had irrevocably changed. He had repaired more than just a ship. He had bridged the gap between worlds, forever altering the fate of the alien wolf. In the vastness of space, he knew that somewhere, that wolf would remember the mechanic who had fixed its ship and helped it find its way home. And though their paths would likely never cross again, the bond they shared would remain, a silent testament to the unspoken connection between beings from different worlds.